So Shaquille O'Neal made some not so flattering comments about Kevin Durant, basically implying that if Kevin Durant's going to uh, build, want to build his own team, he should see it through. Instead of requesting a trade out of Brooklyn, he should stay in Brooklyn, and he should see it through. Now, a lot of people that are for and against Shaquille O'Neal's argument. I remember Skip Bayless a couple of days ago talked about, if you want to tell the truth, tell the whole truth. Kevin Durant wasn't the founder of him landing to Brooklyn. Truth be known, he was just basically following Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving grew up in that community, always wanted to be a Brooklyn Net, and he basically told Sean Marks and the organization that if he can also bring Kevin Durant with him, and that's the whole reason why the Brooklyn Nets were intrigued with Kyrie Irving, because of Kyrie Irving's influence with Kevin Durant, and the Brooklyn was trying to get Kevin Durant before the New York Knicks, but I feel like the New York Knicks stumbled out of the gate by their contract proposal, and also saying they're not too sure if he can come back from his injuries. So that, with their contract proposal, plus Kyrie Irving's influence over him, he chose Brooklyn over the New York Knicks. Now, 3 years later, these guys combined together has not won a lot of playoff games, have not even won a lot of playoff series. The potential that dynamic duo could have had, winning multiple titles. They went through coaching changes. They went through player changes. They mortgaged the farm when it comes to draft picks, as well as the talent they already had on that roster. And they traded all that away for one James Harden. And James Harden couldn't even make it 2 full seasons with Brooklyn until he quit on the Brooklyn Nets and took his talent to the Philadelphia 76ers. But the good news is the Brooklyn Nets got Ben Simmons, okay? So you just switch problems, okay? So let's tackle and address Shaquille O'Neal. There is some truth to what Shaquille O'Neal is saying, but it just goes to show, if you look at this situation, it just goes to show how much not a leader Kevin Durant is. It's just not in his DNA. It's just not in his personality. Kevin Durant really just wants to play ball. He just wants to play ball, and that's it. He doesn't want to get into the politics. He doesn't want to get into managing what coach he wants to play for, or what players and this, that, and the third. He just wants to just play the game. He's a true gym rat basketball nut, okay? But he's not a true leader. If anything, he leads by an example. He's not a vocal leader. His presence doesn't consume everyone else to be better. He doesn't lead that way. And that's the type of individual Kevin Durant is. Is that good or bad? Well, it depends on which side of the glass you're looking at. I think Kevin Durant fit perfectly with the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors already had a coach in place. They already have a nucleus of players. And those players were willing and sacrificed their touches with the ball, their playing time with the ball, to fit Kevin Durant in their system. So much so, they just rechanged the system and call it the Hampton system when Kevin Durant was on the roster. They did whatever it took, including the organization, to fit Kevin Durant for them to fit around Kevin Durant, not the other way around. And I felt like Kevin Durant, when it's all said and done, he's going to look at this when he's done playing basketball 20, 30 years from now, when he does his own 30 for 30 doc series. And I've done talked about this on how he mishandled his time in the NBA. Kevin Durant could have had multiple titles, could have won multiple titles with the Golden State Warriors. He could have been present on that team that won the title this year. He could have been the numero uno, number one factor on why they won those titles. But Kevin Durant, he wanted to do more than just win titles. He wanted the credit. He wanted the love. And he didn't get it with the Golden State Warriors, because no matter how many titles the Golden State Warriors win with Kevin Durant, he's never going to be more beloved than Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, or even a Draymond Green, because those are homegrown talent. No matter how much success he had with the Golden State Warriors, he was never going to be an equal to those guys. So he took his ball and took his talents to Brooklyn alongside Kyrie Irving and decided to blaze his own trail with Kyrie Irving. And he went from the Splash Brothers, Splash Brothers with Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, to the Dribble Brothers, Kyrie Irving and James Harden. Where have we seen this before? Oh yeah, when you was with the Oklahoma City Thunder, when you had Russell Westbrook. Instead of the Dribble Brothers, just the dribble guy. That's all he did was dribble. Okay? And you said it couldn't work there. Kevin Durant is going to go down as, if he doesn't, and I told you guys, I fully expect him to return back to the Brooklyn Nets, because what other choices he have? He hasn't even started his 4-year extension. He hasn't played one game, 1 minute, 1 second of the start of that 4-year contract, and he's already talking about leaving. Kevin Durant's best option is to stay with Brooklyn. And I gave you the following. You're going to get a healthy Ben Simmons who has something to prove, particularly to the Philadelphia media and the Philadelphia fans. You have Kyrie Irving who has something to prove. You're going to get the best version of Kyrie Irving that you have ever had since you combined forces with him. When the Twin Powers activate. He's fighting for his reputation as well as fighting for another max contract. You're going to get him on his very best behavior. Because if this doesn't work, the guaranteed contracts are done for Kyrie Irving. He'll get something close to guaranteed, but not fully guaranteed this next offseason when he becomes a free agent. And the teams you're talking about going to, which is the Phoenix Suns and the Miami Heat, they will have to give up what they already have just to lure you on that team. And you'll be in the same situation that you was currently in a couple of seasons back with Brooklyn. When you was by yourself. When Kyrie Irving went down. When James Harden was just half of James Harden. It was just you against the Milwaukee Bucks. You had moments in that series, but you couldn't get it over the top because you didn't have anybody else contributing to you guys winning that series with the Milwaukee Bucks. You'd be in the same situation if you went to Phoenix. You'd be in the same situation if you went to Miami. They will have to give up a lot more to get you. Not to mention the fact you're not getting any younger, you're getting older. So, I think Shaquille O'Neal, what he said, had some truth in it. But like I said, it's not like Kevin Durant everyone followed Kevin Durant. Everyone followed Kevin Durant to Brooklyn. Kevin Durant followed Kyrie Irving. And then it also makes you wonder, and I did a video on this that particular summer in free agency. It's almost like Kevin Durant didn't even have a plan. It was almost like if this didn't work out, And let's just say the New York Knicks still do New York Knicks behavior, and gave him that contract proposal, and it wasn't fully guaranteed. He didn't like that contract proposal. And let's just say Kyrie Irving went back to Boston. What would have Kevin Durant would have done? Would he have accepted the Knickerbocker deal, the New York Knicks deal, or went back to the Golden State Warriors? He would have went back to the Golden State Warriors, which would have been the best decision for his career and for himself and for his legacy. That's why, if you've been noticing, particularly on social media, he's talking about legacy like he doesn't even care about legacy. You know why? Because he already wrecked his legacy and he knows it. But guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. I'm up out of here. Deuces.